Welcome to History Adventuring. This is episode number 444. I'm Brad Hall, and today we're turning 40 in old-time Phoenix. When I turned 60 a few years ago, many people told me that it's the new 40. This was meant to be a positive statement. It'd make me feel not quite so ancient, but to me it just meant that many people have no idea what the old 40 was. And comparing 60 to 40 back in the day really is a fair comparison. As a healthy man, I can expect another 30 to 40 years of life, and possibly more. My old body can't do the same things it did 20 or 30 years ago, when I was in my prime, but that's what being 60 or 40 is all about. A healthy man like me in old-time Phoenix could expect to live into his 80s, assuming, of course, he wasn't kicked by a mule or run over by the trolley car. And unlike today, a man would have been considered an adult when he was full grown, which for me was 15, and for some men even younger. I've done enough research on genealogy to realize that people routinely became grandparents in their 30s and 40s. Nowadays, we think of grandparents as being my age, 60s, the new 40. At age 15, I really was still a child, and even at 18, I really wasn't mature enough to settle down and start a family. If I had been, I would have expected a grandchild by the time I was about 40, no later than 50. Yes, of course, some people do that, but nowadays it's rare, not common. And nowadays 50 really doesn't sound all that old, but it's the age that you were required to be in order to move into Sun City when it began in the 1960s. The thought of moving into a retirement community at age 49 and 12 months, if you follow me here, just kind of blows my mind. Well, that's a view into what old age was back then. By the way, my favorite fictional character, created by Fleming in the early 1950s, was a spy who was obliged to take forced retirement from his 00 status when he reached the age of 40. I found it interesting that most of the actors who have portrayed him have done so in their 40s and 50s, retiring at about 60, the new 40. So after pondering this, I'm happy to be at the new 40. I realize that I'm no longer young, and that it's time for me to step aside from many things and let the new generation take over. Nowadays, you only have to be 55 to move to Sun City, but most of the people I see there when I visit are way older than that, which presumably makes 80 the new 60. This has been History Adventuring. I'll talk to you later.